the global cyber attack from South Korea has paralyzed the computer networks of some major banks and broadcasters.
Hospitals paralyzed, surgeries halted.
Hacking pharmaceutical giant Pfizer.
Sony Pictures Entertainment is reeling from what may be the biggest and most devastating computer hacking in Hollywood's history.
After hackers stole tens of millions of dollars.
Stolen almost £1.2 billion worth of crypto.
U.S. officials believe North Korea was behind the computer hacking attack.
They caused a lot of damage, and we will respond.
We live in a world of digital shadows, where lines of code become instruments of unseen power. And recently, the scale of that power has been brought to light. A situation of unprecedented scale has unfolded. A heist, not of gold coins or priceless artifacts, but instead of a cryptocurrency. A staggering sum of $1.5 billion has now vanished into cyberspace.
As far as we know, this could be the largest hack in the history of our industry.
And the perpetrators? A team which is whispered in cybersecurity with a mixture of fear and grudging respect. A team known as Lazarus. The Lazarus Group is more than just a collective of hackers. They are believed to be an arm of the North Korean state, specifically the Reconnaissance General Bureau, Pyongyang's intelligence agency. Their history stretches back to at least 2009. Initially, the Lazarus Group's operations were characterized by relatively unsophisticated denial-of-service attacks, along with disruptive cyber espionage. One of their earliest attributed campaigns, dubbed Operation Troy, targeted South Korean government and military infrastructure.
In South Korea, a possible cyber attack has paralyzed the computer networks of some major banks and broadcasters.
But this was merely a prelude. Over the years, their tactics evolved with alarming speed and precision. They mastered the art of deploying advanced malware, launching intricate spear phishing campaigns, and exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities, which are weaknesses in software unknown to developers. They then transitioned from disruption to destruction, and then, crucially, to direct financial gain. The world would first truly grasp the scale and audacity of the Lazarus Group with the 2014 Sony Pictures Entertainment hack.
Sony Pictures Entertainment is reeling from what may be the biggest and most devastating computer hacking in Hollywood's history.
In retaliation for a film known as The Interview, which is a satirical film depicting the North Korean leader.
North Korea took offense at this new Sony movie. It's called The Interview, and it uses a plot to kill Kim Jong-un.
This attack crippled Sony's systems, leaked vast amounts of sensitive data, and served as a stark demonstration of state-sponsored cyber capabilities. Then came the attempted heist of nearly $1 billion from the Bangladesh bank in 2016.
In February, when hackers managed to transfer $81 million to private accounts in the Philippines, other transfers worth around $850 million were stopped.
A brazen operation that exposed vulnerabilities in the global SWIFT banking system. And in 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack.
WannaCry. Security experts say this is one of the worst and most widespread pieces of malware they've ever seen.
Attributed to Lazarus affiliates, spread chaos across the globe, locking up computer systems in hospitals, businesses, and critical infrastructure. These attacks, while disruptive and financially motivated, were largely overshadowed by what was to come. As the cryptocurrency market surged, the Lazarus Group recognized a new, lucrative frontier. Decentralized, often lightly regulated, and holding vast sums of digital assets. Cryptocurrency exchanges became their prime targets, and Bybit, a major exchange based in Dubai, would become their most significant score to date.
Well, hackers have stolen almost £1.2 billion worth of cryptocurrency in what could be the largest theft of its kind.
February 21st, 2025. That was the day Bybit's defenses were breached. The target, their Ethereum hot wallet, designed for rapid transactions and thus inherently more vulnerable than cold storage. Their method, a supply chain attack, exploiting a weakness in SafeWallet, a software solution used by Bybit to manage its cryptocurrency holdings. Lazarus operatives, with their trademark patience and meticulous planning, infiltrated a developer machine within SafeWallet. The precise entry point remains debated. Was it a compromised employee account? A zero-day exploit in the developer system? The details remain, for now, shrouded in the fog of cyber warfare. Once inside, the hackers subtly manipulated the JavaScript code of the SafeWallet software. This was not a brute force intrusion, but a delicate, almost surgical alteration. A seemingly routine transaction, a transfer of Ethereum destined for Bybit's hot wallet, was intercepted and subtly rewritten in the code. The malicious alteration was designed to be invisible during normal security reviews, a, quote, disguised meticulous transaction, as SafeWallet would later describe. Once the security checks were then passed, the transaction would be authorized without even revealing the true malicious destination of the wallet. Because this plan succeeded, over 400,000 Ether, a cryptocurrency fortune valued at approximately $1.5 billion was silently and swiftly redirected, not to Bybit's control, but into the digital coffers of the Lazarus Group. The theft itself unfolded in mere minutes, a testament to the attacker's precision and speed. And when investigators finally caught on, they saw the unique fingerprint of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
That is the transactions made by the launderers after they'd stolen this $1.46 billion from Bybit.
The enormity of the heist was matched only by the audacity and sophistication of the subsequent money laundering operation. Almost immediately, the stolen Ethereum began to move through a dizzying labyrinth network of intermediary wallets.
And you can see the funds subsequently being fanned out across very many different transactions. So what they're trying to do here is to confuse the money trail, make it more difficult to follow the funds.
The funds were then channeled through decentralized exchanges such as Exchange, a known hub for laundering illicit cryptocurrency. Then, cross-chain bridges were utilized to convert and transfer assets across multiple blockchains. First, Ethereum, then Binance Smart Chain, then Solana, and Avalanche. A frantic, complex dance of digital finance designed to obliterate the trail, with its ultimate destination being Bitcoin. Even as blockchain analysis firms and the FBI initiated their investigations, Lazarus moved at breakneck speed. Within days, hundreds of millions of dollars had been successfully laundered, irretrievably mixed with the vast ocean of cryptocurrency transactions. Ari Redbird, head of policy at TRM Labs, would later go on to say, an amount of that magnitude would have been unimaginable to move this quickly just a year ago. Underscoring the unprecedented scale and velocity of this operation, the sheer pace and volume of the laundering process spoke volumes about the resources and planning behind the attack, far exceeding the typical budgets cybercriminal operations would receive, which then of course puts the immediate target on state-level involvement. Bybit, still reeling from the blow, publicly declared a digital war against the Lazarus Group, offering multi-million-dollar bounties for information leading to the recovery of the stolen funds. Blockchain investors and cryptocurrency bounty hunters are now engaged in a global decentralized pursuit, attempting to unravel the complex threads of the laundering operation and claw back what remains of the digital fortune. Law enforcement agencies are collaborating across borders, attempting to maybe pierce the veil of anonymity that the Lazarus Group is so expertly maintaining. However, the reality, stark and unsettling, still remains.
Our Ethereum cold wallet was compromised or hacked about 3 hours ago.
The vast majority of the $1.5 billion is likely irretrievable, dissipated into the global financial system, laundered beyond recognition, already serving its unknown purpose, fueling the opaque agendas of a regime operating in the shadows. A regime desperate for funds when faced with a world increasingly hostile to its ambitions. The Bybit heist serves as a chilling reminder of the evolving landscape of cyber warfare, where nation-states operate as digital criminal syndicates, and the lines between espionage, warfare, and theft become increasingly blurred.